Adam Driver perhaps surprisingly talked about the sequel trilogy and his character Kylo Ren just a few days ago, and had this to say: "I had an overall arc in mind that J.J. Abrams wanted to do. His idea was that Kylo's journey was the opposite journey of Vader, where Vader starts the most confident and the most committed to the dark side, and then by the last movie, he's the most vulnerable and weak. He wanted to start with the opposite. This character was the most confused and vulnerable, and by the end of the 3 movies, he would be the most committed to the dark side. I tried to keep that arc in mind, regardless if that wound up not being the journey anyway, because it changed while shooting, but I was still focused on that." When asked about Kylo Ren's character being changed, Adam Driver said this: "With Ryan, he took it in a different direction, but it still tracked with the character. And then the last one, it changed into being, about them and the dyad, and things like that. And evolving into Ben Solo, that was never a part of it. He was Ben Solo from the beginning, but there was never a version where we'd see Ben Solo when I first signed up for it." So essentially, this is just another example of how poorly the sequel trilogy was handled. Changing writers who had completely different visions from one movie to the next was always going to mess up in a mess of a trilogy. And that's obviously not even just talking about Kylo Ren, we're talking about the whole story and everything to do with it. I was actually really interested in Kylo Ren when The Force Awakens first released. He had a great introduction on Tatooine. The whole idealizing Vader thing, I think, was an interesting concept. So yeah, I would have really liked to see a Kylo Ren that just falls farther and farther into the darkness. Him and Snoke as well just had so much wasted potential. But that's all I wanted to cover with that. Obviously, at this point, it's not going to change anything, so we've just kind of got to live with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.